Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final round of the Acorn Cup Juniors category. We are here transmitting live on YouTube. So if anyone wants to participate as an audience, family, for example, they will be able to join through YouTube. And we also like to ask you as an audience, if you want to participate through the comment section, we'll be reading those comments later while the judges are giving the verdict, are delivering the verdict. So we invite you to do so. We are going to be transmitting the final round of the Oak Cup after this debate, and we will also be transmitting the award ceremony. So if anyone wants to be participating as an audience in that transmission, is invited as well. We have here two schools that were able to get to the final round. That is, as a proposition, the St. Catherine's Moreland School, and as an opposition, the El Colegio del Carmen from Mendoza. Now, the first speaker of the St. Catherine's Moreland School is Clara Humphreys. The second speaker is Inés Clopet, and the third speaker is Delfina Palazón. And Inés Clopet is going to be delivering the reply speech. From the opposition of Colegio del Carmen, we have as a first speaker Uma Santo, as a second speaker Juan Manuel Ruiz, and as a third speaker Celeste González. Juan Manuel Ruiz is going to be giving the reply speech. We have today a panel of 5 judges. The chair judge is going to be Fernando Riva from Cava, and the other judges, the panelists, are going to be Verónica Zapata from Mendoza, Federica Valenzuela from Mar del Plata, Matías Kaplar from Buenos Aires, and Juan Cruz Minucci from Córdoba. So without further ado, let's begin the final round of the Acorns Cup. We invite the first speaker from St. Catherine's Moreland School from Belgrano to begin with these debates.
Thank you. Show the war we won. Good morning, members of the House. The motion before us today, in light of Qatar's human rights record, this House believes that 22 FIFA World Cup should be boycotted. The definitions we're going to provide for this motion are boycott, to refuse to take part in an activity as a way of expressing strong disapproval. Why are we debating this motion today? Football and the World Cup are very important, and the World Cup is supposed to be hosted in Qatar. And by given the problematic situation with human rights and corruption, we do not believe it should be done there. As to in today's debate, team proposition will have to prove 3 main tenets. Firstly, the 22 FIFA World Cup discriminates part of the society. The 22 FIFA World Cup does more harm than good to the economy, and the fundamental human rights are violated because of atrocious working conditions. In this debate, we will deal with 3 main arguments. The first argument being human rights prevail at World Cup. It will talk about the discrimination created by Qatar during the World Cup. The second argument, called finance, will tackle the finances of Qatar hosting the World Cup. And finally, the third argument, back in the 16th century, will tackle how unethical the way in which Qatar teaches. I want to continue with my first argument, human rights prevail the World Cup. In this argument, we will prove that due to the discrimination happening in Qatar, many rights will be violated. Qatar has a large history of discrimination and violation of human rights. Therefore, it would be risking the life of thousands of people, and also we would be depriving of all these people from actually being able to enjoy this event. The whole essence of the World Cup, that is enjoyment and of football and the values, would be lost. A whole part of the society would be discriminated while they should be respected and respected. A horrid example would be the homosexual people and everyone who is part of the LGBTQ community. And they would be discriminated. I mean, it is illegal. Their lives would be in terrible danger. People would be depriving a whole group of this union and that promotes the World Cup. And homosexual people aren't the only ones who suffer this problem. Accepted.
We all agree that Qatar has a violation of human rights, but we should help change it and not change in the place of the FIFA World Cup.
Yes, but is it worth it to have a sporting event in Qatar to risk all these people? I will now continue. And not only homosexual people are the ones being suffering from this problem, but also women and also and many other people are going to be ignored and violated. This argument, we have proved that the World Cup made a great impact in this argument, we have proved that if the World Cup was made in Qatar, great part of the community and society will be discriminated, and therefore it shouldn't be done in Qatar. I will now continue with my second argument, the finance. In this argument, we will prove that this event denied. In this argument, we will prove that this event would create even more corruption and the investments will be low. I will now start with my first layer of analysis. In this World Cup,
information
denied, there will be a big money. There won't be a big money flow because due to the fact that it is impossible for it to be made in summer due to the heat, and there will be 120 degrees each day. It will have to be made in winter, and millions of dollars that will be invested by Fox denied, and they are going to be lost and disappear. Moreover, due to all the corruption happening in Qatar and the long history of discrimination, the violation of human rights, many countries that with a value won't be investing in Qatar, and therefore it will be more useful and more money will be invested if it were made elsewhere. I will now continue with my second layer of analysis. And even if they took money from somewhere or someone invested this in the World Cup, this would promote corruption because of the long history in Qatar that there is we don't know where the money is coming from or going to. There is no evidence that this money will be invested in the cup, and it can be even used to promote discrimination and to keep on violating rights. In this argument, we have proved that due to the fact that less and less people are likely to invest, and due to the corruption, the last solution is to boycott it from Qatar. If you have to remember something from this debate, human rights and morality cost more than a football game. Thank you.
Okay, so the time was 5 minutes, 11 seconds. Now we would like to invite the first speaker of the opposition.
Welcome to a world which searches the easy exit and solution, a world which will not fight to help another one, a world which hides trash under the rug. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the first speaker of the opposition team. The motion we are debating today is in light of Qatar human rights record. This house believes that 2022 FIFA World Cup should be boycotted. So as you may know, the motion brings a problem. Qatar does not follow correctly the human rights. So should we cancel 2022 FIFA World Cup? So first of all, I want to impose our burden of proof. I want proposition team to prove us how Qatar is going to be benefited if you boycott the FIFA World Cup. So also I want them to prove us that the economy of Qatar will not be negatively affected after you boycott the FIFA World Cup. So after my arguments, before my arguments, I would like to refute the proposition ideas. So they say that the society will be discriminated, that the tourism has risk and it will promote corruption. I think all of this is true. Corruption topic I will be saying in my argument, but society will be discriminated. It is completely false because tourism are not going to feel discriminated because Qatar problems are internal problems. It will not be transformed into tourism problems. Also, they said no, thank you. It will be not money flow. That is completely true because Qatar has been prepared themselves for this FIFA World Cup and they have been improving stadiums. So now I'm going to continue with my allocation of arguments. The first arguments will talk about parameters. The second will talk about economy, and the last one about opportunities. I will develop my first argument, parameters. We all agree that Qatar have not a perfect history when talking about human rights, but is it fair to boycott the FIFA World Cup for this reason? First of all, let me tell you that yes?
Yes, you're saying that it is not fair to boycott the World Cup from Qatar for that reason, but is it fair to make the World Cup in which a whole part of the population is illegal?
Your point. Okay, I'm not saying that the human rights are perfect in Qatar. We all agree that human rights are violated. We are not debating about this. We are debating about boycotting the FIFA. I think instead of boycotting the FIFA, we should help Qatar solving these problems. First of all, let me tell you that not even a single country has a perfect history of no, thank you. So when did we start judging a country in this way? A strong example I will bring is Argentina. The World Cup in 1978, Argentina was under a dictatorship and nobody didn't even care. Human rights were barely present. The tournament was a great success. It may even have helped it with internal problems and caused a shared feeling of unity. Football World Cup was made for those who love and care about football. So instead of judging and boycotting, let's start helping and changing this perspective. Sorry, proposition team, but the solution isn't about changing the place. It is about supporting and improving Qatar. To summarize, as the solution is not boycotting the World Cup, the motion should fall. So now I will continue with my second argument. It talks about economy. As you may already know, preparing an entire country for a World Cup costs millions of dollars, infrastructure and hard working. Now let's see it from a Qatar perspective. They have been preparing themselves and spending money that could have been used in other ways for improving fields, stadiums, and transport. With the World Cup, it comes a lot of tourism, and these people stay in hotels, eat in restaurants, and transport in public medias. Qatar will be benefited in these ways. So if we suddenly cancel the FIFA, the loss of money is enormous, obviously, because Qatar is prepared for this and no other country is prepared for this. This preparation takes years. And if you cancel Qatar FIFA for a whim, you will need to find a new country to host the FIFA World Cup. No, thank you, which accomplish all your parameters and the economic strength to get ready for a FIFA in a month. It is unbelievable. There's no chance that boycotting something so lovely as a World Cup and so passionate as a World Cup is beneficial in any way. No, thank you, out of time. So judgment prevents us from seeing the good that lies beyond the appearances. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Okay, thank you, Uma. So the time was 4 minutes and 33 seconds. Now we would like to invite the second speaker of the proposition.
Qatar isn't a champion, my friend. As to win today's debate, Team Proposition has been and will continue to prove three main tenets. Firstly, that this World Cup is discriminating and creating more discrimination in large parts of society, that this brings more harm than good to corruption and economically wise, and that fundamental human rights are violated because of atrocious working conditions. In my speech, I will be refuting what the first speaker of the proposition team said. I will do a brief reconstruction of the case, and I will be presenting our third argument. I will now start with my refutation, which will be divided into 3 points of refutation. The first point being discrimination. They said that they agree that human rights aren't perfect on Qatar, but they said that we are not helping Qatar if we change the location, that we should instead leave it there in order to help. And we question the exclusivity of this premise, because I mean, if we are saying that we should boycott this World Cup, I mean, maybe Qatar is like they want to change too. I mean, it's not only about leaving it there for them to change, because they had the opportunity to change. I mean, it's almost 2022 now. I mean, they had the opportunity to change all of these years and they didn't change. I mean, and even if this was true, even if we went there and did the World Cup and if they changed for that reason, we question the depth of this change. I mean, it would be a really shallow policy. I mean, they've already said that homosexual people would be, no, thank you. Homosexual people would be accepted in the World Cup, but they are still illegal. I mean, there's still discrimination, and homosexual people would feel thoroughly discriminated, and the cruelty of Qatar cannot be accepted. We cannot hold a worldwide event in a place that does not respect human decency. Moving into my second point of refutation, the economy. They said that they've been spending money and that this will benefit Qatar's economy. We question this because there are even less people willing to invest. Folks was going to invest $425 million if it was done in summer. But as we mentioned, it cannot be done in summer and it will be done in winter. So folks will not invest there. And Qatar doesn't have the infrastructure. They're building it with I will now explain, atrocious human working conditions. And even if this money benefited them, why would we want to be benefiting a country that makes a whole part of the population illegal? I mean, it is not rational. They have to change their beliefs. They have to change their moral, and we cannot hold a And lastly, they did not engage with They only said that they know that human rights aren't perfect there. I mean, they know that human rights are perfect there, and they are still wanting to do it there. I mean, and moving on to my third point of refutation, human rights. They said that, well, in Argentina, no, thank you. In Argentina, they did it with the dictatorship, and that it was good. I mean, they even mentioned, and I quote, that human rights were barely respected in that World Cup, and we question whether we want to do this on a place that doesn't respect basic human decency. And even if Argentina was kind of benefited, as we already mentioned, the shallow policies that this country would implement would not be benefiting people because discrimination would still be there. Even if homosexual people wouldn't be illegal, discrimination would still be there. We cannot permit this cruelty. I mean, it is not rational, as I already said. And lastly, they failed to engage with what we said about corruption. I mean, they said, yeah, we know that corruption is there. What? I mean, less countries are willing to invest, and we don't know where that money is. I'm going to refer to the case. So far, we have proved that discrimination will continue. We don't know where the money goes unless people are willing to invest. And now I'm going to prove, yes.
So, how, taking into account what you're saying, how are you going to choose another country to make the World Cup in the time of 1 year with the requirements you want these countries to have?
Thank you, I understood your point. This is not a policy motion, so it's not my place to provide a model. Thank you. I will now continue with my third argument. Back in the 19th century, in this argument, we will prove that Qatar would be allegedly using modern day slavery, in quotes, right, to build this infrastructure, because they do not count with the infrastructure. These cities that they need do not exist right now. They need stadiums and they need hotels that they don't have. So how will we achieve this? They are not morally correct, so they will be exploiting workers. I mean, particularly migrants, especially. I will explain that. I mean, they would be mistreating them, withholding their pay, and forcing them to work with heat and no water. They would be making them live in squalid camps with unhealthy and unsanitary conditions. They would confiscate their passports to prevent them from leaving the country. I mean, we cannot permit this country to hold this if they are not respecting basic human decency. They are violating fundamental human rights. Therefore, by boycotting Qatar's World Cup, we are still saving millions of potential human rights violation, millions of lives. An example would be that already 1,044 Nepalese only died in Qatar working for this. And in this argument, we have proved that this necessary infrastructure isn't there, and that Qatar will achieve this by immoral work and violating human rights. Human rights and morality cost more than a football game. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ines. The time was 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Now we would like to invite the second speaker of the opposition.
Thank you. We're talking about changing a place where a big tournament is going to be made, and that has a lot of preparation, and that is a very good opportunity to promote human rights, making the attitude of people about this place change. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am the second speaker of the opposition team, and today we are here in this debate because in light of Qatar's human rights record, this house believed that the 2022 FIFA World Cup should be boycotted. And our team is going to prove that this motion must fall. So before I start my argument, I am going to refute what our team said. They firstly talk about discrimination, homophobia, and insecurity that people is going to feel when going to this place. But this is not true because, first of all, FIFA has taken action within this topic, and this is going to make people feel secure. And secondly, they also talk about that economy, that they don't have infrastructure and unhealthy conditions. The first 2 points of this part are completely false, because if the World Cup is going to be made in this country, it's because they have the infrastructure and they have been investing money to make this infrastructure good. No, thank you. So to the second point of these arguments that talk about unhealthy conditions, Qatar has been dealing with the World Health Organization for these points, to make this World Cup very healthy and to fight against these violations to human rights you are talking about. So now I'm going to start my argument that is called opportunities. Okay, this World Cup is going, yes.
Yes, we already mentioned and we already argued that the mere possibility of changing Qatar is not exclusive to your side. Therefore, your point falls.
Okay, thank you. As you're saying, it's not of our own decision, but Qatar people has also saying if Qatar is being chosen to this World Cup, because Qatar has decided to participate in this choosing. So now I'm going to start with my argument that is called opportunities. This World Cup is going to be a great opportunity to fight those attitudes that go against human rights in Qatar. As the FIFA World Cup Committee has said many times, when they are asked about racism and homophobia and those attitudes happening in Qatar, something that clearly goes against the equality human rights, they see these tournaments as an opportunity to fight these attitudes. Many people are concerned about how racism and homophobia will affect the tournament. No, thank you. But the FIFA World Cup Committee has taken action with this topic to prevent players, tourists, and all people to be negatively affected. Boycotting FIFA World Cup from Qatar will be a lost opportunity to change mentality in this place and to fight for human rights that we all defend every day. So it is really no, thank you. So is it really a good option to change the place where it is going to be this FIFA World Cup 2022? As we can see, boycotting FIFA World Cup 2022 because of the place of realizations is not a good idea, taking into account the opportunities that we are losing doing this. So thank you for listening to me, and remember, judgments prevents us from seeing the good that lies beyond the appearance.
Okay, thank you, Juan Manuel. The time was 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Now we would like to invite the third speaker of the proposition. Delfina Palazón, we invite you to continue with the proposition's case.
Fight for the people now, that's my gift. Good morning, members of the House. Let me remind you that the motion before us today is, in light of the Qatar's human rights record, this House believes that the 2022 FIFA World Cup should be boycotted. As to into this debate, Team Proposition has been able to prove the three main tenets. The FIFA World Cup discriminates part of our society. The FIFA World Cup does more harm than good to the economy, and fundamental human rights are violated because of atrocious working conditions. During this debate, there were three main points of clash. The first one was that they said that everyone will be able to enjoy this World Cup. But how are we going to make sure that is true? I mean, Qatar discriminates a lot of people. I mean, homosexual people are illegal in Qatar, illegal. They can't even, if they are illegal, how are they going to be able to enjoy this World Cup? What, are we going to allow this country that discriminates so many people to host a World Cup, this event that is for the whole world, that with a World Cup? Are we going to, no thank you, are we going to let them host this World Cup if they discriminate? They discriminate women, and I mean, which year are we? We're in 2021. We can't let a country that discriminates women
Point of information.
Host a World Cup. No, thank you. Host a World Cup. And even if this were true, that everyone will be able to enjoy it, are we going to, when this World Cup is hosted and people still, women still go, homosexual people still go, and they are illegal, are we going to risk these people to be discriminated and treated wrongly in this country when we have many other options to change this World Cup and not do it in this country that is making this harm to all these people? Our second point of clash was that they said that it takes time for countries to prepare for this World Cup, and that no countries are ready to host a World Cup. Yes?
Okay, you're talking about the right of what you're going to do with all the preparation that Qatar do in these years, all the effort and the money that you spend.
Well, this country is preparing all these, is not even able to prepare, finish all these stadiums. They said that in Qatar it's very hot, so they said, well, we'll have air conditioning in these stadiums, but they're not even able. They don't even have the money. They don't have money to finish the stadiums they are building. I mean, they don't have the infrastructure. Now, they said that no countries are ready to host a World Cup, but we question whether this is true, because many countries are ready. I mean, it's not the first World Cup that is hosted. There are many countries that have already hosted World Cups and have the information. No, thank you. And the places to host a World Cup. We can totally change that. And if people, there's a real need that no one can host it, then it can, it happened in 2020, it can be postponed to another year if they still need preparation. But I don't think that would be needed, because there are many countries that are ready. And and the third point of clash is that they said that FIFA has taken action on the, no thank you, FIFA has taken action on the discrimination that's happening, but what is that action? They say that Qatar will change for this World Cup, but I mean, what is this action? How are we going to make sure that they actually change, that they actually take an action to change this country? I mean, it's a whole country, it's not one person. There's a lot of change to be done. We really, this country has had all these years to change, and they still haven't. Are we really this country really going to change in some months when this World Cup is going to happen? There were three main points in our case. Our first argument was that human rights prevailed a World Cup that tackled about the discrimination created by Qatar during this World Cup. Our second argument, that tackled the financial disadvantages of hosting this World Cup. And our third argument, back in 19th and 16th century, that tackled how unethical the way in which Qatar treats people is. Human rights and mortality cost more than a football game. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Delfina. The time was 5 minutes and 8 seconds. Okay, now we would like to invite the third speaker of the opposition to continue with their case.
We are tired of being a world that the solution of everything is Spanish boycotts. When there are more solutions outside to find, to look, please get out of your box. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am the third speaker of the opposition team, and we are here to debate this motion that is in light of Qatar human rights weaker. This House believing that in FIFA 2022 World Cup should be boycotted, and we of course want to the motion false. Okay, now I wanted to refute what the third speaker of the proposition team said. First, you mentioned all the things that really are not clear in this debate. You mentioned that we never said that the people on the tourists will enjoy this choice, this statement, this match. We just are talking about the problem that you are presenting that is not a solution or is not even a reason to boycott the FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar. So now I'm going to explain to you the point of clash that happened and why opposition team showed there was a stronger and how we won and this point of clash. Okay, we have two. The first one is economy, and where proposition team present the idea that there is no infrastructure or no money that is loose in the side of Qatar because they don't have anything prepared. They don't have the money to prepare that.
Point of information.
Yes, accepted.
That if discrimination and slavery to build these stadiums is not a reason to boycott a World Cup, then what is? I mean, are we going to? What do we have to get to not do this World?
Okay, what you're talking about, yeah, our problems are happening in Qatar, but yes, they don't have any reason with the FIFA World Cup 2022. We can't see this to any reason because we can change that. We can help to Qatar to change the things to this match. I'm going to continue.
Point of information.
No, thank you. Okay, I'm going to continue talking that we, of course, we will show that we were stronger in this point of clash about economy because we said that infrastructure, of course, is doing. Okay, we are talking about 1 year, less 1 year that is happening the next FIFA World Cup. So, of course, they're doing. Of course, what you are proposing, you are going to lose a lot of money, but you never show that you're going to spend or return to this country that is going to lose many money. Then the second point of clash that happened was social. You proposition team talk about that Qatar will not change. They have many years to change. So why have we the reason that they're going to change? What prove us that they are going to change in the time that we have now? That of course this is not real. That would prove that it's more important, like to look for a reason, for a future, for a possibility that can happen to a solution, another solution, not to ban everything that we look because we think that is not okay because it's not. Really, the Qatar can change in this time that we have. We can get better the country, and you even have any reason, any strong reason to boycott these games. So now I'm going to give a brief conclusion of what we said. So if you hear listening our debate, we said that Qatar have not a perfect study of right humans, and we know that, but really any country have it. So this is fair to boycott the FIFA World Cup? No, this isn't. We bring the example of Argentina in 1972, and that they have a FIFA World Cup, even they have a dictatorship, and this going okay, no one have any negative consequences. Then we said that this is an opportunity to fight these all attitudes that goes against human rights in Qatar. Then the FIFA World Cup committee takes action with this to prevent players and forces to be negative affected. And then the solution isn't about changing the place.
On that point.
No, thank you. It is supporting, improving Qatar. In this case, millions of dollars in infrastructure and hard work here that many people did. So we are not going to just boycott something that costs a lot of years doing. So in conclusion, first of all, proposition team, you can't win this motion. You can't have it because first of all, you never prove the burden of proof that we impose to you at the first of the debate. So we, with that, understand that what we're saying is okay and that we have the reason in this debate. And never you talk about that this is that is not a policy motion, but is it because we are going to change something? You want to change something that this is just doing. So please think about it. We are doing correct things. We are doing what we most want. Proposition team is only taking the easy walk, the easy way, and you want this. You want the easy way, the easy reasons to do the things. I don't think so. So other things are more important because judgment prevents us from seeing the good that lies with just in appearance. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you, Celeste. The time was 5 minutes and 16 seconds. Okay, now we invite the second speaker of the opposition team, Juan Manuel Ruiz, to give their reply speech and close the opposition's case.
Well, thank you. Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am the reply speech of the opposition team, and today we're going to analyze what happened in this debate. So, first of all, there's the right question. What happened in this debate? At the first of the debate, the first speaker of the proposition team talked about discrimination, homophobia, and insecurity. Also about promote corruption, no money flow, and the heat wave. So this was refuted by the first speaker of the opposition team and was also proved that this was false. And the opposition team gave reasons to don't boycott this FIFA World Cup. The second speaker of the proposition team also talked about economy, infrastructure, and unhealthy conditions that were also refuted by this second speaker of the opposition team and proved that they were false, adding reasons to boycott this FIFA World Cup to 2022. Then, what happened with the burdens of proof in this debate? First of all, the proposition team didn't prove the ones that they imposed to them and didn't accept it what the opposition team imposed it to them, didn't accept it and didn't prove it. So then what happened with the motion itself? Okay, the motion, as we could see, talking about changing something that was already decided, was more kind of policy motion, and the proposition team didn't give a plan to what happens after this motion, after making this motion and how to make it. So as we can see, this debate goes more to opposition team and the motion should fall. Thank you for listening to me, and remember the judgments prevent us from seeing the good that lies beyond the appearances.
Okay, thank you very much. The time was 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Now we would like to invite Ines Clopet from the proposition to give the reply speech and close the proposition's case.
Team proposition stands for football and human decency. Good morning. We can organize this debate into three questions. Firstly, will boycotting lower discrimination? Will boycotting the World Cup in Qatar do a benefit to human rights? And will boycotting the World Cup benefit the economy and secure a good economy? the answer to all of these questions is a strong and secure yes. And now I will tell you how team proposition has been able to prove this and why team opposition has lost this debate. The first point, discrimination. We mentioned clearly how homosexuality was illegal and discrimination was very strong against women also. And they mentioned how, well, the solution is change, and they are basing themselves on the premise that this is certain. They are ignoring that the possibility might turn out otherwise. And they also ignored our point on how this change is not exclusive to their side. It is for both sides, and therefore their point falls. And they also mentioned how FIFA took action, but they didn't analyze at all on how it took action. My second point, human rights. We said the fundamental human rights are violated, right? That is undeniable. And they said, well, yeah, human rights are not perfect. We know that, but we still need change. And we said, well, still change is not certain. Change is not exclusive to your side. And even if the change would be shallow, it wouldn't have a moral depth. It would be very shallow and people will still be discriminated. And on my third point, which would be corruption and economy and less investments, we mentioned all of those things clearly, and they failed to engage. They just said, well, but they've already done some stadiums and some infrastructure. But we clearly mentioned how they did not achieve what was promised and how they will be losing investment due to either winter or due to either how they not respect human decency. And they said, well, but we should be helping Qatar. And we said, helping Qatar? I mean, it's a country that makes homosexual people illegal. That is not decent. We cannot help them until they change their views. Plus, we also said that it is not exclusive to their side, the change, I mean, no? And they continued asking for a model. When I specifically asked, this is a value motion at the beginning of the debate, right? And it is a value motion because this house believes that. I mean, we said that as team proposition in a value motion, we shouldn't be having to provide a model. So due to morality, discrimination, and economy, all 3 points fall to proposition side, and therefore we win and they lose. Human rights and morality cost more than a football game. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. That would be the end of this debate. The time was 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Okay, so as you all know, now we are going to invite the judges to deliberate on the final decision of this debate. So you will be receiving an invite to a breakout room so you can debate freely between each other.
Sorry, I have a question. You are going to deliberate and then come back here, or we are going to listen to the feedback and the results on the prize ceremony?
No,
the prize
no,
giving
the
ceremony.
results and the briefing will be given now after judges' deliberation. We will move the judges now.
Oh, so the results as well? I mean, who won and who lost is going to be stated now?
Yes, the briefing and everything will be given now.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity, and team opposition, you were great, guys. Thank you.
Thank
It
you
was a
to
great
you.
debate.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations to you. Great debate.
Okay, so as the judges move to the breakout room to make the final decision, I would like to say a few words regarding this year's tournament. First of all, I would like to remind all of you that this is being transmitted via YouTube, live YouTube, so that anyone could participate in this final round in this very important moment of the competition. So that's one of the few advantages of being able to do this competition in a virtual way, let's say. And even though we had a few setbacks due to the pandemic, we can find at least some advantages of it. So I would like to thank the ADA team for giving this opportunity. Second of all, I would like to remind you that the final debate, the final round of the Oak Cup is going to be transmitted as well as the prize giving ceremony. I would like to remind you all the emotion for the ones that are joining right now. which is that in light of Qatar's human rights record, this house believes that the 2022 FIFA World Cup should be boycotted. Okay, so we have two strong teams. From the proposition, we have the St. Catherine's Moreland School, and from the opposition, we had the Colegio del Carmen from Mendoza. I would also like to say that we had a panel of 5 judges from different regions, from Cava to Mendoza to Buenos Aires. So I would like to thank all of the judges that participated in today's debate, and as well as the debaters. I would also like to say that in this year's tournament, we've had also added impromptu motions, which is a very important aspect of the debate, because last year we only had prepared motions due to the adversities that we had to face due to the pandemic. But thanks to the ABA team, we were able to also include impromptu motions, which pose different adversities for the debaters that constitute the basis of what debate is. Some things that we lost due to the pandemic, we were able to recover. So these are a few improvements that we had in today's, in this year's tournament. So when I was a debater, we used to say a few words to the other teammates and to the other teams. So if any one of you wants to say something to congratulate the other teammates, you are able to, and I will allow you to open your mic and say a few words if you want, if you're willing to.
Well, I would like to say that you are great debaters, guys. You debate really well, and it was a pleasure.
Thank you, Uma. And I will, okay, so I believe that, okay, and I would also like to say that in the YouTube comment section, there are people actually congratulating both teams. You had a really good debate, considering that this was an impromptu motion for the final round. I believe that it was really hard to prepare this debate, considering all of your emotions that you're going through right now. It is really hard to debate in a virtual way. And I also like to congratulate you personally, because I've never had to debate virtually, and I believe that it is a real adversity. So to see this level of skill and this level of perseverance, because you've debated throughout the whole competition this way, is amazing. So I would like to congratulate you all. And I would also like to say that when I was a junior debating, I didn't have at all this level of skill that you had. So it is amazing to see such level in early stages of the competition. Early stages, I'm talking about junior categories. And I can't wait to see you in senior categories and in future tournaments, and see how much you will improve throughout the years.
I agree 100% with all that. I think they were very good. I mean, some of them, they could be debating seniors right now.
Yeah, I believe so as well. And I would also like to say that when I was a junior as well, I didn't have the chance to debate with different schools from different regions of Argentina. The farthest away I've ever debated was from teams from Mendoza, but I had to have them come to Buenos Aires to debate. So I never had the possibility to face different rivals through this way. And it is amazing that even though we have some setbacks due to the pandemic and due to virtuality, we can also see some advantages that this brings to all of us, that we can interact with people from other places, and to connect everyone through debates, through Zoom debates, is amazing. and we can see different aspects of it as advantages.
You know, something, Juan Pablo, I agree with you, because I think, at least in my case, I find that debate has grown tremendously through the pandemic. We were very benefited.
Yes, I believe that. Oh, sorry, please continue.
No, and I said, and models of the UN and all these things that many times we had to go somewhere, and we were able to participate in many more things.
Yes, absolutely. I also remember that when we had to debate sometimes through Zoom calls or through Skype, I remember that at that time, the connection was horrible. The level of the debate was terrible because we weren't used to debate this way. But now we can see that we can also, when everything recovers, let's say, we will be able to debate in a physical way, let's say, but also in a virtual way with the same level of skill. So it is amazing to see how all of you grew, even though we have this pandemic and all of these adversities. So again, I would like to congratulate you all.
What you said also about them having to do it both ways. These kids are going to be working, speaking to China, Japan, or any other countries from other continents, and they're already used to handling it this way. I think you can even study at universities abroad like this, can't you?
I beg your pardon?
I think you can even study at universities abroad online.
Yes, take courses, I think. Like, I don't think that undergraduates can, but I think that postgraduates, yeah. I mean, if you're getting a master or something, yes.
You guys are, after all this debating, you're going to be experts at anything that you do.
I'm pretty sure of that as well. I would like to read some comments from the comment section through the live of through YouTube live. Emilia Tapia says, congratulations, debaters. Both teams were great. We couldn't agree more to that. And Giovanna Stefani says, congratulations, both teams. Excellent debaters. And we agree on that as well. You both teams had an excellent debate with a really difficult motion. And to be able to see this debate was an honor.
Yes, I wanted to congratulate, well, my whole team wanted to congratulate Uma, Celeste, and Juan Manuel, particularly because I know that when we say like, well, team opposition did great, it seems like more of a protocol thing, but I want to particularly address you and congratulate you because you've been amazing. Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity. Pablo, it was really nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations to you.
Yes, you were great, all of you.
Okay, so anytime soon, the judges will be joining us again. Here in the comment section, we have another comment from Antonio Francisco Gonzalez, which he says, amazing, very good job, guys. And it was a very good job indeed. And Tonya Talks Santishan says, vamos el Sanga. So we have some people rooting for for these schools. Okay. Thank you very much for those who are participating in the comment section. We encourage you all to keep giving more comments. Christian Consina says, excellent debate. Congratulations, ADA. Congratulations as well, ADA, because if it weren't for you, we wouldn't be having this competition. And the level of preparation behind all of these debates is incredible. So I would like to thank the whole team that is in the backstage, let's say. Okay, so I believe that because it was a really good debate, the judges are having a hard time deciding who's the winner.
It must be split. They're debating now.
We are
It
for sure.
happens. We don't all see the same things.
I would like to say that even though there will be winners and losers, something that you have to take from all of this competition are the tools, the resources, how much you grew as debaters, as people, as students from your school, as the ones that are representing those schools. All of these things that you've been through in this competition will be so helpful in your life, in your future. And I can say so myself that. So even though there will be winners and losers, please take those things with you and to keep growing in the future stages of other competition. Okay, so we have other comments in the YouTube section. From Silvina Bebacqua, great debate. From Isabel Hoffman, congratulations team. From another commenter, excellent debate, great debating on both sides. From Fernando González, increíble ambos equipos. From Lola, congrats team Sanka. And from Lia Soledad Alvarez, so proud of you. So without further ado, I would like to invite the third judge, Fernando Riva from Cava, to give the final decision.
Well, this is a great opportunity then to tell you that, first of all, congratulations. It was a great finals. You all proved passion, which in itself is a joy for any judge. However, we had an arduous debate ourselves over who won, and it was a split decision, a 3-2 split decision. So it was a really close debate. In my case in particular, I was the dissenting judge, so I will invite the judges that vote for the majority and that gave the majority vote to open with the briefings. But again, of course, I will be here to give you my opinion on what happened.
Okay, thank you, Fernando. First of all, it's important to state that this decision was not only split, but it was very close. We all agree that the debate was mostly decided based on content, because when it came to style and strategy, you were on the same level. It was very hard to actually distinguish someone with a very superior style or strategy. So congratulations for the consistency and for all the effort that you've put in this debate. When it came to the strong points on both sides, well, first let's say where we found the most how to put it, not to say mistakes, but where some things were lacking. We thought at first that there were very little examples of actual situations in which we could compare what the motion would have an effect on real life or how it had happened before. The only actual example that was brought was by the opposition, but was only one example, which was about Argentina in 1978. We would have liked to see what would have happened with this boycott, what would be the effects on the positive and negative side. Probably a bit of lacking when it came to engaging in the contradicting points on both sides. The arguments that you have given were very good and had a lot of depth to them, but we didn't see how they contradict too much each other when it came to counter arguments and refutations. But we do see how it was prominent on both sides. The reasons as to why human rights are very important to the FIFA and the World Cup, and how not addressing those issues right away in the decision of selecting a country from the get-go was something that should have been taken into consideration. And maybe some other points that some of the other judges see. Am I missing anything of what we spoke with the judges?
I would like to mention that in terms of strategy, the thing was that none of the teams make sure to point out the difference between boycott and canceling. It's really important for this debate, and it's also it will be a really good point for both teams if you could defend boycotting and not canceling, because in terms of proposition, you would have said, well, we are boycotting Qatar, not the FIFA. And for the other team, you will say, no, we are harming both organizations. So we are harming a lot more people. So that's a point that was not really taken into account. And that's why the strategy was like tied on both ends. And yeah, the style was okay. Some minor discrepancies on time, but it was not really critical, but you should check those. Also, well, regarding to content, I also like to add that the point of shallow change was a really discussed one, meaning that the impact that boycotting could do, it was really shallow, or that not boycotting and just going with the flow of the FIFA rights organization just also will be a really shallow change. So that could have been a better point of clash that was not really presented.
Okay, thank you. Something else anyone would like to add before we say who won? Nothing? Okay. So as we said before, this was a split and very close decision of 3-2. And I'm pleased to say that the winner of today's debate was Team Proposition, St. Catherine's Moreland School. So congratulations to everyone.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to both teams. We're really good.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations for you too.
I would like to thank all of the judges, the 5 of you, and I would also like to congratulate both teams. You've had a really good debate, and I would like to say that this transmission is going to end soon, but we are going to begin another transmission when the Oak, when the final debate of the Oak tournament begins. So if you want to follow that debate as well, we invite you to do so.